What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 EV stocks based on their quantitative data. So I want to go over all the things you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So it's been a while since I've actually done one of these videos, and the list has changed dramatically. So last time I did one of these, all the Chinese EVs were kind of top 1 through 3, and then you had Americans and so forth. But this time around, things have really shaken up. A lot of companies have put out their earnings, so a lot of this data is fresh. So getting right to it, surprisingly, stock number 5 is Faraday Future. Ticker is FFAI, sitting at $1.15. Over the last 1 month, it is down 23.32%, but over the last 1 year, still doing fairly okay, 4.55%. So for this video, I'm going to be looking at the quantitative data. So right now, it does have a rating of 2.77. That, for the most part, is broken and kind of created based on these criteria. So valuation, growth, profitability, momentum, and revisions. So if we look at this right here, so you can kind of see the valuation is a C, so arguably considered a little bit overdone. I'm not going to dive deep into this because that would make it like a 30-40 minute video, but this is how it is created or given the, I guess, C rating for the valuation. But again, there's valuation, growth, profitability, momentum, and revision. So this stock is not profitable, so this is why you are getting a F. And over the last little bit, it's actually not really been on anyone's radar, only up until it looks like the last couple weeks. This is where it now does have a hold rating. So pretty interesting stuff. Like I said, because of recent developments, companies putting out their earnings, this is all fresh data. Revisions, this is a minus. So this is analysts becoming a little bit more bullish on the stock. And like I said, in this case, stock has gone down quite dramatically. Momentum is a D. And then, as I mentioned, just the growth of the operations is at a B+. And of course, on this channel, I always like to add what shorts are doing, just so you guys have that extra element to kind of digest. So in this case, 21.33% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 34.6 million shares overall being shorted. So shorts have been kind of in it for a very long time. For the most part, 2025, they've been rather timid compared to 2024, but still, as of late, they've started to really increase. So went from around 18 to where we are now at 21%. So again, this is stock number 5. Moving on to stock number 4, you have Xpeng. Ticker is XPEV, sitting at 21.83 over the last 1 year, doing very well, up 81.16, and then over the last 1 month, kind of losing a little bit of momentum, down 3.71. Currently, the quantitative data is sitting at 3.1. So this is broken down by valuation being a D, growth A+, profitability is a D, momentum A-, and then revisions is a C. For the most part, for kind of majority of 2025, it has been hold. Occasionally, it has been a strong buy and then a buy as well, but as of late, it has been sticking to kind of the hold rating. What I will do next weekend is I will go over what Wall Street analysts feel about all these stocks. So again, something just to kind of add to the mix. But aside from that, 5.87% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 38.5 million shares overall being shorted. There's a lot of information, good information here, but want to kind of draw your attention to DTC. So the higher the number, the higher the magnitude of a squeeze is possible. Plus, it does signal as well how overextended shorts are. So 3.55 days is rather high. That does factor in the average volume for the stock in comparison to number of shares being shorted. So nonetheless, with it at 5.87%, I don't really see that being too high. And so this is stock number 4. Moving on to stock number 3, you have this one moving higher, so Rivian sitting at 16.86 over the last 1 year, up 37.86%, and then over the last 1 month, up 25.07. So definitely doing fairly well. A little bit higher than Xpeng, so the quantitative data is 3.16. Valuation is a D-. On a side note, you can kind of see what has changed over the last 3 months and then 6 months. Growth is a B, profitability D-, momentum A-, and then revisions is a B-. All of 2025, it looks like it has been under the hold category, so that hasn't really changed all too much. Same goes for Seeking Alpha analysts and also Wall Street analysts. Regarding shorts, 19.51% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 157 million shares overall being shorted. One thing to take note of though, in Rivian's case, you do actually have more shares being shorted than on loan. So on loan, there's about 153.92 million. So a little bit of signs of naked shorting. So kind of interesting stuff. DTC being 3.18 days. So that does signal, like I kind of mentioned, just shorts being overextended. So definitely look at this and give yourself a shout out on a side note if you actually do own any of these stocks, and if you feel that kind of the quantitative data is accurate and justifies what is truly the current state of the company itself. So Rivian is stock number 3. Moving on to stock number 2. This one is very surprising. You have NIO. Last time I believe it was 3rd, so the kind of the worst of all the Chinese EVs. This time around it is kind of the highest. So NIO sitting at 550. Over the last 1 year it is up 22.77%. Over the last 1 month down 21.93%. Based on the quantitative data, it is sitting at 3.26, and so valuation is a C+, growth B+, profitability is a F, which hopefully should change over the next couple quarters. Momentum A-, and then revisions is a B. Like I said, they just put out their earnings, so that's kind of fresh revisions data, but throughout 2025 it has been consistently under the hold category. So that really hasn't changed all too much. But aside from that, 11.65% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 161.23 million shares overall are being shorted. DTC sitting at 2.29 days. So that does signal as well, shorts are overextended, not to the same magnitude as some of the other ones I did bring up, but still worthwhile to kind of take note of. This stock as well is showing some signs that there is some naked shorting happening. And so I don't know if, let's say, some institution recently did close out their position in a lot of EVs, causing maybe the loans kind of to be taken away. But right now there's 109.74 million shares on loan, 161.23 million being shorted. So another sign of kind of like naked shorting happening. So kind of interesting stuff. Nonetheless, NIO is stock number 2. And then moving on to stock number 1. I know a lot of people would have assumed this has always been number 1, but that hasn't been the case. And that is Tesla. So sitting at $430.17 over the last 1 year, it is up 24.63%, and then over the last 1 month down 6.14. So this stock hasn't been as crazy volatile as a lot of the other ones, but a nice steady kind of uptrend has been very welcomed. Quantitative data is sitting at 3.35, and so that is broken down based on the valuation being a F. So based on this information, it does signal that Tesla is rather overvalued. So this is again something to kind of consider, but growth is a B-, profitability A+, momentum is a A-, and then revisions is a C. Throughout 2025, it has been consistently under the hold category, so that hasn't really changed all too much. So it's kind of interesting. So the top highest quantitative data kind of sees all of EVs as a hold or potentially worse. So that's kind of says something about the sector itself. But nonetheless, though, from here, this is SoFi, so you guys don't need to see that. So for Tesla, right now, 3.01% of the free float is being shorted, works to be 71.7 million shares overall being shorted. So obviously, Tesla isn't a squeeze play. You guys definitely know that. DTC, 0.84 days, so it's not overextended really. Short score 30.94. Higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. So as I kind of already mentioned, Tesla is definitely not a squeeze whatsoever. So let me know your thoughts on these top 5. Is there any other changes or any other stocks that you feel should be on this list? And I went through, on a side note, all of these. So Tesla, Xpeng, Rivian, Li, all of them. So Li recently did drop. So last time I did one of these types of videos, I believe it was 2nd. So based on the quantitative data, that one has really dropped off. Polestar, that was among the lowest alongside Lucid, so that's also kind of interesting. But I did take a look at all these, and so this is the top 5 based on the quantitative data. So Let me know your thoughts on all that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.